Hi everyone, today we're exploring our hamstrings and hips, trying to open them up and just generally feel good. So when you're ready, let's get started on our yoga mats. Okay, so I'm starting off in Supta Baddha Konasana. I'm laying myself down and kissing the soles of the feet together and allowing the knees to go nice and wide, the hips to open up. So just lift the hips up slightly so you can lengthen your tailbone towards your heels, and then allow everything to kind of naturally rest into place. So you might find there's a gap between your back and the floor. As long as that feels good and fine to you, then carry on with that. But if not, then you might feel like you need to lengthen the tailbone just a bit more. See what feels good to you. Palms of the hands on top of the belly, and we start off with some nice deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose, long exhales out through the mouth. Same again. See, this is just clearing out the cobwebs. Maybe giving the hips a little wriggle as you do this. Same again. And whenever you're ready, we're going to open the eyes and slowly invite the knees to come together. Bring both knees and thighs in towards the chest. Open the knees out super wide. Going into happy baby, holding on to, it could be the ankles or the feet. Just allow your tailbone to drop downwards towards the floor is the main thing. And let go of the left leg. So if you've done this with me before, you'll know to bend the knee or extend the left leg and press your left butt cheek into the floor. Still lots of breathing. Lots of breathing really needed. Now what you're going to do is you're going to change the position of this leg slightly if you want to. Play around with this one. So keep hold of that right leg and left hand onto the left hip and play around with trying to straighten the leg out to the side. So I know this one can be a real ego killer where you're like, oh, the leg's not straightening out or it's not going all the way to the side. Don't be really hard on yourself. Don't put those negative thoughts in your head. Just work with what you've got going on and breathe. Lots of breathing needed. Okay, and we're going to come back into half happy baby, then into happy baby, catch onto that left leg and do all the same work on the other side. So half a happy baby first, right leg extends. You want to have this sense of like guiding this knee and thigh closer downwards by the side of your body to open up through this left hip more, and then of course to work on the hamstrings and inner groins, then work towards straightening out the leg. So it could be that you're having to hold on to like the calf or the ankle instead of the foot. But I will say if you kind of work too much, then you start kind of tilting the hips and twisting through the back, and you don't want that to happen. And then come back to center into happy baby. You can make it even happier by rocking and rolling around side to side. Very playful. There's like minutes that can go by that I just roll around because it just feels nice. And then whenever you're ready, roll yourselves all the way up to come to a seated position. So you're going to find boat pose next. And just bear in mind, everyone's different. You can lift the feet a bit higher or lower than me. It doesn't matter what variation you decide to do as long as you're safe with your practice and it makes you feel good. Hands onto the hamstrings. Sit yourself up nice and tall. Feet together and slide them in a little bit. Now I want you to lean back just a pinch, just a little bit, enough to get your feet to hover away from the floor, whichever height feels comfortable for you. And I'm going to do this, and it might be a reminder as well for you, but to roll your shoulders back, to breathe, to open up through your chest. Now, if your thighs start moving further away, I want you to bring your thighs closer in towards the chest and your chest closer towards the thighs. How are you doing? If you want to, you can release one or both hands out in front of you, coming into Navasana. Take another breath. You're doing great. Whichever height, whether you're down here or you're all the way up here, you're doing fab. Then you're going to kiss the soles of the feet together, allow your knees to drift apart and come into Baddha Konasana, come down. Then you're going to rediscover boat pose. Come up. Knees and feet together. Come up into boat pose. Lift up through your knees and your shins if you're doing the same variation as me. Then come down. And again, coming up into your boat pose. Down, Baddha Konasana. We've got one more of those. Boat pose. And then switch it up. Baddha Konasana. Okay, so come up. Bring the legs around. Shoulders above wrists, hips stacked above the knees. Roll the shoulders back and away from the ears. Tuck the toes underneath. Lift the hips up towards the sky. Push away the floor. Take a nice walk on the spot and alternate between bending and straightening out the legs. Good job. So here we want to make sure the neck is nice and long. We are going to change things up where we come up really high up onto the balls of the feet and then walk the feet forwards towards the hands. So we're in Uttanasana, forward fold at the back, in the front end of our yoga mat, sorry. Now, you can do this with knees bent or legs straight, but I want you to rock backwards and forwards, not too much obviously, don't topple over, so that way you're rocking between the balls of the feet and the heels. And then find your way back to center and forward fold down. So this is different on everyone. It could be that your knees are bent and you're hanging down nice and heavy, or that you've straightened out your legs and you're sort of really in a nice like compact forward fold. Just see what feels good for you. We're going to be inhaling, lifting up 3 times, Ardha Uttanasana. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhaling, forward fold. Again, inhaling, halfway lift. Next, exhale, you got it, forward fold. And last one. Now bend through the knees, drop the arms nice and heavy, and we're going to round up the spine to come up to standing. Remember to roll the shoulders back, reach the hands up, bring the hands to come down to prayer. Okay, so next, find your mountain pose. You might not need to move around so much. So lengthen the tailbone, feet hip distance apart. Bring the hands to come to prayer. Inhale, reach the hands up towards the sky. On your exhale, forward fold down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhaling to forward fold. So bend through the knees, and you're going to step back with the left foot going into low lunge. Then move around the hips, pushing from that back foot to move backwards and forwards just to warm up through the inner groins and thighs. Lots of breathing. And then I want you to work towards straightening out the front leg as best as you can. When you do this, think about the right hip moving back and the left hip moving forwards. I'm on my fingertips because I feel this is better, but if you've got yoga blocks at home, you should think about using those, or maybe you're down on the palms and everything's okay. Other people will be on the knuckles instead, so kind of see what works for you. And we're going to add in a little forward fold. Oh, this is where it gets intense. Listen to your hamstring on this front leg. It will tell you whether to ease off, or it will tell you, yeah, it's okay. We can go a little bit further. So just see what feels right. And from here, so rebend into the front knee, and you're going to go between the two, okay? So work towards straightening out the front leg, breathing of course, and on your next exhale, rebend. Do that a couple more times. Slowly does it. Good. Rebend through the front knee, lower the back knee down, all right? Now, once you've done this, walk your hands back a little bit and shift your weight into Ardha Hanumanasana. So what I've done here is I've got the back knee grounded. You can see I'm not sitting on the back heel. Front leg is straight. Flex the front foot. Hands underneath the shoulders. And then gradually add in a gentle forward fold. Remember to bend those elbows as you move down. Don't push or force this stretch to happen. It's all about patience and time, which is a hard thing to practice, but we're here right now doing it. Take another breath. And then slowly move forward. So bend into the front knee, keep the back knee grounded. Inhale, reach the hands up towards the sky into Crescent Lunge. And then bring the hands down. And we're going to step forwards. Okay, so we do this all on the other side. So forward fold down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhaling to forward fold. Bend through the knees. Step back with the right foot, feet hip distance apart. Like we did before, rock it out. So backwards and forwards. All right, and getting ready so the hands or fingertips are underneath the shoulders. Straighten out this front leg respectfully. So listen to the hamstrings. And left hip moves back a bit, right hip moves forwards. And then add in that forward fold. It probably won't feel like much has changed. It's really frustrating. But that's the learning curve, is not to get frustrated, not to beat yourself up or your body about it. It's the wrong mentality. When those thoughts creep in, which they naturally do, it's our job then to fight them off and go, no, not going to listen to that. That's negative talk. So we're going to inhale, lift up halfway, breathing in, breathing out, forward fold down. Oh, that feels good. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Press the feet deep into the mat. Lift up through your pelvic floor muscles. And now we're going to rebend the front knee and then go towards straightening out again. So you've got 2 more of those, okay? So let your breathing be your soundtrack, especially at this point. Really take your time to listen to your body. Okay, things are going to change again. Rebend the front knee, lower the back knee down, relax the back toes, and work towards shifting that weight back. Can you see I'm not sitting on the back heel? To adjust that, if that's happening, shuffle the front foot forwards. The hip is just over the knee. I've got hands underneath the shoulders. I've flexed the front foot. Really good for the Achilles, calves to open up there, and then forward fold down. Over this front leg. Some days I'll kind of pump that front foot just to get into really tight areas of the calves in case you're interested. And then from here, slowly come up, rebend into the front knee and Crescent Lunge, reaching the hands up towards the sky. Keep lifting the chest, keep moving the hands back. Lots of breathing. And then from here, slowly come down, hands either side, tucking the toes underneath, lift the back knee and thigh, stretch that back foot up towards the ceiling and forward fold down. Good job. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhaling to forward fold, bend through the knees, drop the arms nice and heavy and roll up the spine, coming up to standing. So as you rise up, roll those shoulders back, reach the hands up, hips move forward slightly, and bring the hands to come down to prayer. Whenever you're ready, get yourselves nice and seated here on your yoga mat. Roll the shoulders back, find that imaginary wall behind you. We're going to be taking, I think we're mirrored, aren't we? So let me try and be smart with this one. We've got the left hand to the right side of the head by the ear. Relax there through the shoulders, take a nice big inhale. And on your exhale, slowly guide the neck over to the side for a big stretch. So don't move with your body. Allow your body to stay nice and centered as it was to get that nice stretch along the neck there. And then from here, slowly come up. We're going to change sides from here, coming up onto the other side. So we've got that right hand there onto the side of the head. Big inhale. And on your exhale, letting go, getting that nice stretch. Oh my goodness, I really need it on this side. All along, not just the neck, but the shoulder as well. Oh, it's intense on this side. And then now with your new neck, we're going to be turning side to side, like so. So moving the neck here with intention. And then we're going to be moving up and down here. So take note of any areas of discomfort and breathe through those areas, work with them. It could be that even the smallest of adjustment here where you remind the shoulders to move back and down can really help. So avoid hunching the shoulders to the ears here at this point, and then take some really slow circles now. And I know it sounds really weird, but sometimes, especially when I lift up, I lead with the chin as I lift up towards the ceiling. I know it sounds really weird, but that really helps me with the circles, I find. And I find it helps to close the eyes, because when I'm circling around, I can get quite dizzy quite easily. So if you're like me, move really slow. Keep the eyes closed. Back to center, shoulders rolling away from the ears. Let's seal off our practice. Inhale, sweep the hands up towards the sky, and slowly move the thumbs down towards the third eye for your vision and dreams, down towards the mouth and throat for clear speech, conversation, immunity, towards the chest and heart for love, compassion, and finally down toward the lower part of the belly for good instincts, fire, and healthy digestion. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed practice today, that you were able to open up through the hips just a little bit more. And of course, if you fancy remembering any of those postures or holding them for a little bit longer whilst we're practicing together, that's absolutely fine. You can kind of hit the pause button, or you can always just kind of catch up with me as I go along. It'd be great to know how you got on with this one and what you thought about it. If you were like, I want to do a bit more, or you've got some other ideas for a different class, and yeah, let me know, and obviously I will get back to you. I'll leave you to it. Have a lovely week or weekend, depending on where you are at this point practicing yoga, and I'll see you next time on the yoga mat. Bye.